What's up, guys? Today we're here near Tampa, Florida, and we have 4 awesome Corrados here that were awesome to come out. So I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a tour going through each one and just sharing some awesome things about each car.
I'm Ian Rubbish, and this is a Corrado.
Woo!
1992. Classic metallic green pearl effect LC6U. OG paint except for the bumper and the slam panel. I had those repainted because they're pretty beat up.
That's really impressive.
Yeah. All your standard Corrado stuff. You got your E-codes. Fog lights with no light bulbs in them, so you don't throw them up. VR6 badge I had made by Renew Art, which is pretty cool. The motor has been worked a little bit. The head has cams, port polish, angle job, Ferrera valves and whatnot. Nothing too crazy. Vortec V3 blower setup. About 8 pounds of boost. The transmission was rebuilt. Has a Pelican diff in it. Other than that, that's pretty much it. It is running on a standalone KP tune. Shout out to Paul. Moving around the car. No sunroof, so I'm in the slick top gang.
Do you know what the numbers are on that?
No, I don't. I know they're low.
Yeah.
And ironically, when I bought this car, I had no idea that was a thing. The guy that I was buying it from was making a big deal about it, and I was like, yeah. Until fast forward 5 or 6 years of Corrado ownership, I realized that that's actually a pretty rare option to not have that option. You get a little bit more headroom in there, which is nice too. So, like I said, green over tan leather on the inside. Everything in there is OG. Well cared for. Third owner. Was garaged his whole life. Was definitely loved by its first 2 owners and definitely by its third. We have BBS RS wheels on here, 137 in the front. 235 in the back, 16 by 7.5, 16 by 8. They are powder coated 50/50 polish, and I tried to color match the car, which is difficult because this car in the shade looks like it's black, but if you get the right amount of angle of light, you could see that the color within the windows is actually the same color as the intake manifold and valve cover gasket, which is what I was shooting for. It's just, like I said, in the shade it looks black. So a lot of other goodies like old school Eurocolor blinkers in the front. Other than that, I got a Rage steering wheel in there. It's pretty cool. A little bit of light audio, TT exhaust, Euro belts, all the things that you could want for a Corrado, I guess. Currently won't start. I had to trailer it here. Don't know why. Brand new battery, brand new starter. Maybe a bad ground, but we're here.
Well, thanks for getting the guys together. I'm really glad that this worked out today.
No, these guys are great, man. I'm kind of new at this, and those 3 guys that you just met, Vinny is a new friend, but Vinny is a super OG guy in the Corrado, not only Corrado, but VW world. Rico, the red Corrado, is super OG. He's owned that car since 1997, so like any problems that I've ever had, he's had them 10 times over. Very humble guy, always willing to, answer all your questions and help you work through things. Brian he's kind of like the mad scientist of all of us. He's taken several Corrados apart and putting them back together. He's very meticulous, very detail oriented. Also very knowledgeable with anything complex as far as wiring and stuff like that. Like he's been a huge help for me. So these guys are some of my new best friends. They're really good dudes, and as far as it goes with the Corrados, they're like, basically the OGs in our area.
Rico. I'm the owner of this red 1992 VR6 Corrado. Bought it in 1996. It's got a 3-liter turbo in it with an O2M 6-speed. It's a Schimmel motor with a big valve head, air-to-water intercooler. It still has AC in it. It's got the United Motorsports Pro MAF, so 630cc injectors.
What size is that turbo? Like, that's like the biggest turbo I've ever seen on a VR. Like, that's wild.
That is an S362 turbo. It's kind of a medium-sized turbo. I had a smaller exhaust housing made for it. It's got a 3-inch stainless exhaust all the way back, downpipe all the way through. Outside, it's got an Oettinger, basically an Oettinger front that's been grafted on. It's got Euro lights, Rieger grill, Rieger badgeless grill. It's got ST coilovers with the Coney strut inserts. On the outside, we've got BBS CH wheels, 17 by 8.5 with 225/35 17s. It's got the Porsche Boxster calipers. I've got the Mark IV R32 vented rear discs on the back, knockoff opt side skirts on it. Inside, got Recaro A8 seats.
Open that up.
Got Recaro A8 seats with red painted back, red seat belts.
And they're Euro belts, I see.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's cool.
Yep. Got old school new speed carbon fiber shift knob and steering wheel. All kinds of gauges and stuff for the turbo. All this the seats and all the trim are Alcantara, including the headliner.
Oh, I see. That's cool.
Might want to go on the other side. Gauge cluster has been modified, so it's got the tack in the middle. And
That's super cool.
And it's had the guy from Spoonfed. He did me a special set of gauges.
That's cool.
One-off gauges. Got in the back, we've got rear seat delete and just some 8-inch image dynamic subs. Tank for the air-to-water intercooler. All AN fittings. It's got a Walbro in-tank with -6 AN lines going all the way to the front. The door panels have custom
Oh, I see.
speaker pods on there.
That's pretty cool. That's clean.
It's got
That's cool because they always stick out kind of far and you can catch them then.
Yeah. And I've got MB Core 3-way, old school MB Core 3-ways. I think I got those in like 94 or something like that. They're still running, so I'm not worried about it. But that's about it. Beside B4, glass moonroof, hatch, roof, and hood are all original paint.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, the rest of it has had to have been
And was this always a
repainted.
Florida car?
No, I don't believe it was. I'm the third owner.
Okay. That's just really impressive for like a Southern car. Like, yeah. It's still good.
I know the guy that I bought it from. He owns his own shop, and all he did was drive it back and forth to pick up parts. So, and this basically sits in a garage for the most part. I drive it every so often. That's one other thing I wanted to show you on the engine, the valve cover. Valve cover is from a G4 Transporter.
Really?
Yeah, I had the this welded in, as well as the AN fittings for the catch can. But yeah, it's a T4.
Have you ever dynoed it?
No.
No.
No. No, don't intend to.
How much boost is it running?
It's got a 2-stage boost controller. I can run it at 12 or I can run it at 25.
Nice.
25 is kind of scary.
That sounds wild. Mine's running 10, so that's like a different world. Wow.
Yeah, 25 is kind of scary. It's got the AC condenser is from a Honda Accord because I've got a Passat radiator, what do you call it? Subframe, and it puts it straight as opposed to crooked. And the Passat was too tall. It's too big. The Passat AC condenser was too large, so I had to find one, which was a Honda Accord, to fit in there.
That's really, I never thought about that, but yeah, that always makes it really tight there on the intake. Because
Yeah.
I come out to like here then.
Yeah, and that's why I went with the Passat, because it puts it straight. It's got SPAL fans. It's got a Passat radiator, so it's taller. So I've got two 13-inch fans on here. Water meth injection. Like I said, I had it since 1996. And, yeah, it's not going anywhere.
Well, very cool. Thanks for sharing. You told me earlier it's a 10-footer, but just something like that, I can tell that you drive it some, and that's super cool. And just all the mods and the history, and like you just said, like your heart is in this car after all these years. So really cool to hear. So keep up the good work.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Brian Cushing. I purchased this probably almost over 10 years ago, about 11 years ago. It was originally silver. Bought it in Miami. Wanted to hold off about a month, trying to just enjoy it originally, but the weekend later I basically stripped it down completely. So after that, it was balls out, just strip it down to a paint and body. Took about a year to process and put it all back together, and fixed it up to go to Fix Fest. I think it was in 2013. So a year later, I got it all back together. Primarily, the purpose was to make it OEM plus. Main purpose was just to try to keep it clean, and do a little bit of small modifications. Some are unique and not even worth mentioning, but it's kind of nice when I'm not spending $100 on small little things. The engine's all motor. It's a 2.9 liter. The head was, I think, originally out of Europe. I'm not 100% sure on that. So when I bought the car, the engine and trans was already set fine. I just cleaned it up, painted, kept it simple. It's got a little drop-in chip. Got rid of the AC and it's power steering, so it's really fun to drive. Really torquey for all motor. So that was where I wanted to keep it. I was looking down the road, going to forced induction, but I decided to hold off. It's more fun this way right now, playing with it instead of playing with gremlins sometimes. So it was a fun journey. You know, when I first started, I originally saw a Corrado back in '96, if I remember correctly, '97, and I really wanted to have it. Couldn't afford it back then, of course. So life speeds up real quick, and then I was like, all right, I want to play with it and have fun. So my first Corrado I bought, picked it up, sold it a year later. The itch was still there, so that's when I picked this one up. So I've had fun ever since. I did all the work within the first couple years. Just last year I only did small things like a Diesel Geek short shifter, obviously Polo Box shifter as well for the Mark IV setup. So it's going to be tough kind of see. I try to make it functional when it comes to the wiring, keep it simple, a little tucking, not a lot of tucking. Didn't have to do a whole lot of modifications, trying to keep it simple. As we walk around, I think I replaced the coils with some cheap ones for right now, and next year I'll get something a little bit better. The interiors can be all redone with cat skin, so all the interior stuff is going to be done when it comes to the leather. And again, not a lot of modifications, trying to keep it simple, a nice sounding engine, of course. It's straight. No, the muffler is basically what do you call it? Downpipe straight back to a small muffler, 3-inch. So it is ready for forced induction. Just not going to go there. That I usually work on other project cars or somebody else's car. So have fun with that. So typically, I think the ice violet gray color, LK4U, is the code, if I remember correctly. You see a lot in Canada, over in Europe as well, especially in England and stuff like that. If I can't remember correctly, I think the States may have had some. I'm not sure. You always see them in the Northeast, in the Northwest, of course. So when I got it resprayed, I kept it with the original VW color, but this was the color I wanted. It was originally silver. I just wanted to do something a little bit different. So it is a nice color. It still looks good.
Awesome.
No complaints there. Small little things that you're going to do, little things, you know, little chrome stuff.
Yeah, it's super clean touches there.
Yeah, probably in a few years I'll go back into it and start doing powder coating properly.
Yep.
Things like that. So yeah, I'm trying to think of anything special, but there's not a whole lot special to it. It runs. Over the last 4 or 5 years, I've been just driving it, just going places. That's pretty much it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing.
All right, man.